The Janaranjani Sydney group has begun a new initiative to create regular podcasts featuring our youth team, not just from Sydney but from around the world. In this first podcast, our speakers are Keshav, Gayatri, Adarsh, Hariya, Praveen, Vishali and Dr. Mansi. We hope our listeners enjoy.
Okay. Good day, everyone. I'm Dr. Usha Sridhar, and today we have planned to do a podcast by our Janaranjani Youth volunteers on the 26th of July 2020. So before I begin, I would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which I work and live, and recognize their continuing connection to land, water, and community. I pay respect to elders past, present, and emerging. So I'm going to be the facilitator for this podcast meeting. And here I have got very vibrant youth. Keshav, Dr. Mansi, Praveen, Gayatri, Adarsh, Vishali, and Hariya. Welcome to you all. Without much ado, I would hand over to Keshav to start the proceedings and start with his speech. Thank you.
Thank you, Sridevi Auntie. Hello, I'm Keshav. I'm a software consultant based here in Sydney. I have been donating blood since high school. I've took a little bit of a break during my university years, but have started up recently, just last year, and have been enjoying the experience very thoroughly. So the topic I'll be talking about today is blood donation and the blood products that we provide when we donate blood, and the treatments, the essential treatments that these blood products go towards. So when we donate blood, there are three blood products: blood, plasma, and platelets. We can choose to donate one of these three, at least in New South Wales, Australia. With donating blood, this is donating the actual body fluid that you have, and that will be provided to patients to replace their bodily fluids. So this can be used with people who've lost blood through physical trauma or chemotherapy patients whose treatments have caused their red blood cell counts to drop, or thirdly, to help anemia patients who have a low hemoglobin blood count, and also lastly, possibly to provide patients who are undergoing surgeries with replacement blood during their surgery in the event that it is lost. So that's the first blood product, blood. The next is plasma. So plasma is actually the fluid component in your blood. It transports cells, hormones, vitamins, and proteins, and it can also assist in removing waste products. So the two main benefits of plasma products are to provide antibodies to recipients and also clotting properties to recipients. So antibodies can exist in donors' blood, and these antibodies can be useful for preventing and treating infectious diseases, many of which are household names that you're familiar with, such as chickenpox, measles, hepatitis B, and tetanus. Plasma is also useful in treating clotting. So it can have factors that can help either support clotting or prevent excessive clotting. So a disease such as hemophilia can cause inappropriate bleeding. So plasma can help a patient in producing clotting. And the third blood product that we can donate as blood donors are platelets. And platelets assist in clotting the blood. So platelets donations assist and provide recipients platelets in their blood, which they can use if they have a disease which causes a lack of platelets or dysfunctional ones. So that was a quick introduction into the different blood products we donate and the treatments, that the vital treatments that these products go towards treating. Next, we have Dr. Mansi Arora talking and giving an introduction into the different blood groups. I will have her on video and I'll play the video of her talking right now. Everyone can see this, right?
Yes.
Hi everyone, my name's Mansi. Sorry I can't be on the live Zoom call as I have very poor internet connection where I am, so I had to pre-record this video. I'm a doctor currently on a 3-month rotation to a regional town called Coffs Harbour in New South Wales. I've been donating blood and plasma for about 8 years now, and I see the effects of these incredible donations on my patients every single day. Thank you to the Janaranjani team for organising this podcast discussion on such an important topic. Today I'll be talking to you about different blood types and why they are important. So human blood is made up of lots of different components. This includes red cells, as well as other cells such as platelets, and also plasma. When we talk about blood donation, this usually refers to donating red cells only, but you can also donate plasma as well as platelets separately. You inherit your blood type from a mix of your parents' genes, and there are 8 main blood types that are organized through 2 different systems. These systems are the ABO system and the rhesus, positive or negative system. These systems represent different proteins that exist in human blood, and so from this combination, the different blood types that you can have are O positive or negative, A positive or negative, B positive or negative, and AB positive or AB negative. The most common blood type in Australia is O positive, and the least common is AB negative. The reason that blood types are important is when someone is given a blood transfusion, it is best to give them blood that's the same type that they have to avoid a reaction between those different proteins. If that isn't available, they can be given certain other compatible blood types, depending on what type of blood they have. Some blood types are universal, which means they can be given to anyone. For example, O negative red cells can be given universally and are often used in emergencies. And AB plasma, whether it's positive or negative, can also be given to anyone. What this means for donors and recipients is that you can donate, well, what you're able to donate depends on your blood type. For example, I am AB positive and I can only donate plasma. However, someone who is O positive could donate blood, plasma, and platelets. Regardless of whether you are a donor or a recipient, the blood bank will match the blood products to minimize the risk of a reaction. Now we'll move on to Praveen, who will be talking about eligibility for donating. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, Mansi.
Hi, this is Praveen. Am I audible? Thank you. This is Praveen. I'm working as an assistant professor in Sri Vishnu Engineering College for Women, Bhimavaram, in India. In our organization, there are blood donation camps. As a part of NSS scheme, we follow some guidelines which are given by WHO for assessing donor suitability for blood donations. Anybody between 18 and 65 can donate blood if they are in good health. They must weigh at least 50 kg to donate blood of 350 ml according to WHO standards. They need to. There will be some certain conditions they need to satisfy if they want to donate blood. They should be they should maintain a good health and a good hemoglobin level. They cannot donate blood if they have a cold, flu, or sore throat. These are all temporary situations, there are some temporary situations where they cannot donate blood when they are undergoing some ill health like this. If they have hypertension and they started medication, they cannot give blood for up to 28 days after starting their treatment. And if they are having any urinary tract infections, they need to wait for 14 days after full recovery. If they have undergone malaria like this, they need to wait for 6 months to some. In some conditions, they cannot give blood permanent. They are when they are suffering through chronic anemia like thalassemia, inherited red cell membrane defects. Because of this, they are completely not allowed to donate blood. When even when they are suffering from cardiovascular diseases and history of myocardial infarctions, respiratory diseases, and metabolic endocrine diseases, diabetes, that especially most of the people don't know that when they are using insulin, WHO won't suggest to take blood from them. That is a thing which we need to make a note of. And moreover, in some cases of thyroid and when they are going with the central nervous system like dementia, and moreover, we all know that if they suffer from hepatitis B, HIV, etc., they are not allowed to take. They are not allowed to donate blood. And above all, consumption of alcohol and abusive drugs. If they are showing symptoms, if they are taking the drugs from other ways other than injections, they can donate after they have gone through some tests. And they are taking through intravenous injections, they are not allowed to take. They are not allowed to donate blood. Now, others, they really take over how someone can normally amount the blood they donated and how soon they can donate.
See, we have our next speaker, Gayatri.
Hello everyone, this is Gayatri and I'm pursuing my BTech second year in Computer Science and Engineering at the KL University, and I live in Rajahmundry. So I would like to thank everyone and I'm so excited to be a part of this discussion. So today I would like to share a few points I got to know about how quickly a normal person can regain the same amount of blood that was donated. About 1/3 part of our blood contains red blood cells and the rest is mostly water. So the water gets replaced within a day or two as long as we get extra fluids. So hence your body replaces the blood volume within 48 hours. But the replacement of red blood cells can take about 2 months, more like 56 to 60 days. So it will take 4 to 8 weeks to completely replace the red blood cells that were donated, and one can donate blood every 56 days. Meanwhile, in this duration, the valves allow the body to restore the lost iron stock and get us back to our health. So, but our body replenishes platelets and plasma faster than red blood cells. So a platelet donor regains very quickly in 2 to 3 days and can frequently donate as often as like once in every 2 weeks. So it isn't very tough to regain when you donate blood, but we need to take some few recommended measures to be healthy and regain our blood, like having a good meal and ingesting extra fluids for a few days. And one should avoid strenuous physical activities or heavy weightlifting for next 5 hours, which makes them more weak. And after blood donation, one is recommended to not to take alcohol for a few days, and it may cause the blood regaining to be slow. And a donor is suggested not to take a serious run for at least a month, like a marathon or athlete, like some serious runs, they're not suggested to do so. So knowing these facts, that how fast we can regain blood, and one will be so motivated enough, they need not worry much about losing the blood, and they'll be happy to donate blood. So I would like my next speaker to share his points.
Thank you for that, Gayatri. And so I'm here to give a quick talk about some encouragement for people who want to donate blood. So as Gayatri and Professor Praveen mentioned, there are certain barriers that prevent you from donating, but it's also important to understand, assuming that you meet those criteria, blood donation, if you're not familiar with it, can seem intimidating. You know, it's a big needle and whatnot, but it's really important to understand that that simple act of donating blood has the effect of saving lives. It's something that a lot of us aspire to do. We think, oh, wouldn't it be great if we could save lives? And we think, okay, the only way we could do that is if we became firefighters or police officers or doctors. And blood donation's a simple way. It doesn't cost us anything. It only takes a couple of hours of our time at most. And it's a great way to help people and save lives. Now, there's definitely things that can seem intimidating. For example, you might fear getting dizzy or being faint, but it's also important to understand that when you do donate blood, you'll be in the presence of trained medical professionals, including nurses. So if anything does go bad, you'll be in a supportive environment where everyone will know what to do and how to look after you. And there's a lot more to just helping people. There's also a certain level of satisfaction that you get from knowing that you've helped, and it's really a simple way to make a huge difference to someone else's life. You might never meet that person. You might not necessarily know how your donation has impacted people, but you can go to sleep knowing that your simple act of donating has improved the life of someone else in a way that you probably could not imagine. So on that note, I'd like to invite our next speaker, Vishali, who's going to talk about some of the more specific motivations that people have for donating.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for having me in this panel today. Before I talk more about what are the motivation factors for the people for donating blood, let me just walk you through few myths people will have about these blood donations. The first one is, I might get a disease from donating a blood. The fact is, as long as they're doing the donation in a sterile environment, it should be okay. And the next one is, they don't need my blood type. This is the common myth. And every type is the right type. And all types, including the common ones, O positive and O positive and A positive, are needed by the patients all the time, because they are the most common blood types. And the next one is, other people must be giving enough blood. Everybody thinks that, but actually less than 5% of eligible population are donating blood. Yet the demand for blood and blood components is constant. This is based on a survey in USA. And another common myth is, I can only donate blood once a year. As our speaker Gayatri mentioned, a healthy person can donate blood regularly, say every 2 months. So the common motivation factors for the blood donors would be, they will be motivated to donate when someone they know is in need of blood. And if you are an informed citizen, the main motivation would be the health benefits of donating blood. Evidence say that health benefits include reduced risk of cancer and reduced risk of hemochromatosis. Hemochromatosis is a disorder in which the body stores too much of iron. So regular blood donation helps to manage this disease. And regular blood donation can also reduce the risk of damage to the liver and pancreas. And also it improves your cardiovascular health, and it reduces the obesity. No, now I would like to transfer this topic to Hadia to discuss how what's the best way to donate blood in this pandemic situation.
Thanks, Vishali, and hello everyone. My name is Hadia. I'm a PhD graduate in physics and currently working as a casual tutor at UTS. So before beginning the discussion, let me admit the fact that I'm not a medical expert, and the information that I'm intending to provide here now are taken from the WHO guidelines, the Australian Health Department, and a recent article that's published in The Conversation. So as discussed before by our panelists, we are in need of blood and plasma products every day, okay? And WHO has noted that the COVID-19 pandemic has reduced the supply of blood and blood components and adversely affected blood system activities in many countries. So according to a recent article published in The Conversation, which is authored by David Irving, who is an adjunct professor with the UTS, there's an increase in cancellation and rescheduling of appointments by the blood donors. Okay? And this article was published in March 30, 2020. And when this article was published, around 9,000 donors are canceling their appointments each day. Okay, that's pretty a scary number. Now, there may be many questions in our mind about blood donation in this unusual situation. Firstly, on a positive note, there is no evidence that coronavirus or other respiratory viruses can be transmitted by blood transfusion, so which is a good relief for us. But to be on the safe side, Australian Red Cross Lifeblood's strict screening process means that people who are unwell can't donate. Okay, now let's check who can donate. Okay, the first question to answer. So let's look at the instructions and guidelines that are issued by WHO and that has been strictly followed by Lifeblood to protect the safety of staff, donors, and patients. First one is anyone who has returned from overseas is unable to donate for 28 days after their return. People who have been in close contact with a confirmed case of COVID-19 will have to wait 28 days before donating. People who have been confirmed as having COVID-19 will not be able to donate until they are cleared by their doctor, plus undergo an additional recovery period. Persons who had a positive test for COVID-19 but never had symptoms should be deferred for 14 days after the last positive test. And as part of hemovigilance, a system must be in place for donors to report post-donation illness consistent with COVID-19 or contact with a case that is confirmed post-donation. So it's like blood and components that are collected within 14 days prior to disease onset or in the donor or collected within 14 days subsequent to the contact exposure may be recalled as a precautionary measure. And notification of the clinician of confirmed infection in the donor may also be considered if the blood or components may have been transfused already. And people with mild cold-like symptoms will be unable to donate until they are fully recovered. Now, the next question that we might have in our mind is that, am I allowed to travel to a donor center and is it safe to travel? Like as many states in Australia still have limited non-essential activities, it's important to understand blood and plasma donation is vital, and travel and venue restrictions don't prevent people from giving blood, which means that it is an essential activity, okay? And so you can go and donate your blood. And donor centers are strictly regulated spaces, monitored regularly by the Therapeutics Goods Administration. The staff there adhere to strict sanitation protocols, including wearing gloves, wiping down surfaces after every donation, and using single glove steroid collection kits for every donation. And in addition to that, they have implemented certain other steps to prevent further spread during this pandemic situation. And these are like they have increased disinfecting of frequently used items, providing additional hand sanitizers for donors to use, additional daily disinfection of all areas in the blood collection centers, including the donation floor, refreshment areas, reception, and more. restricting non-donating visitors to the collection centers, which means that you, the donor, and the staff are only allowed in. Providing public health information consistent with the latest official coronavirus advice in every center will be given. And implementing social distancing in all the centers wherever possible, which is ensuring all donors are at least 1.5 meters away from other donors. Then, because the Victoria has, encountered another second wave of coronavirus, the Victorian government has advised some extra precautions. That is, all the donor staff in Melbourne's lockdown areas will be donor center staff, and donors and staff will have to wear a mask from 11th July. So all donors visiting one of the centers in these lockdown areas will have to wear a mask while donating. And if they don't have a mask, then the center will provide them with one. And it's also important that bookings are essential so that social distancing can be maintained in these centers. And also, donors in the lockdown areas can only donate at those donor center areas inside the lockdown area. So these are some of the protocols that the Australian government, together with the WHO guidelines, have ensured to provide safety for everyone. So what are you waiting for? Many patients are waiting for you. It's time to go ahead and donate your blood. Thank you.
Thank you so much. What can I say? I have a million thanks to all our participants today. You all have addressed several aspects of surrounding the very inconvenient topic, which is blood donations. From my experience as a blood donations coordinator in a corporate company, when I approached people, it's not a joke, this is reality that I faced. People are more eager to part with $100 note than go to the blood donation center and give blood. So when it comes to blood donation, people have lots of fears. But then I used to, I never took no for an answer, and then I used to coax them and then send emails. And then finally, it is like either you pay $100 to the Red Cross, or you just go. So that is how some people wanted to give money to avoid my face. But then on a lighter note, the motivation that people said was to have a very nice food snack. The Red Cross people used to give after the blood donation, and also Mercer used to give half a day leave. So once they have done the blood donation, the Red Cross people used to send an email that yes, this person's thing has finished, just to the manager, and then they could get half a day leave. So that was an attractive thing for some people. So now there is always a disclaimer. When you all have shared this many things, I still suggest that our listeners or viewers should not take this as a medical advice, but do consult your doctor regarding your own suitability, because these facts are gathered from internet. So now I would request Keshva to summarize various aspects. Thank you.
Thank you, Sridhar Auntie. That was a very broad range of topics discussed in this, and I think with the time amount that we had, we did a lot of justice to each of those different topics, spanning the technical details of the donation to motivations and to more specific topics such as donating during the COVID-19 pandemic right now. I've certainly learned a lot, and I look forward to future broadcasts of this nature, just spreading awareness of good, important causes, and also spreading knowledge and removing disinformation. Yeah, that's what I'd like to say.
Sure. I just want to invite you all, just anyone wanted to add something further to this, most welcome. This is the time.
Yeah. So can I add something regarding the plasma donation?
Yes, please.
So according to the Food and Drug Administration, by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration, if you have fully recovered from COVID-19, you may be able to help patients currently fighting the infection by donating your plasma. Although it's not a completely proven technique, but these have been trialed in many countries. So because once you fight the infection, your plasma will have the COVID-19 antibodies, and that plasma may be used to help others fight off the disease. So I have told that COVID-19 patients, patients who are detected with COVID-19 should not donate blood and plasma. But once they have, recovered, and once they have passed their the 14 days isolation period and things like that, now it's time that they can donate their convalescent plasma, which might be, helpful for other people who are sick with COVID-19. So. Yeah, so that's an important one to tell as well. But again, I have to admit that it has not been confirmed. Like there is no, complete evidence to prove that this works. But this has been trialed in many countries now, including India.
Thank you. That's excellent information. Anyone else wants to add more to this?
I might just add one thing.
Yes.
I actually went to donate plasma today in Sydney in Town Hall Donor Centre, and actually, in addition to all the precautions Hadia mentioned, they're also wearing face masks. So all the staff are wearing face masks, even though in Melbourne it's mandatory, but I think in Sydney now New South Wales is rolling out new measures, and I know it's not New South Wales, it's Red Cross, but New South Wales is rolling out new measures that all health staff should be wearing face masks while interacting with patients. So it was similar in the donor centre. So that was very, very professional. They're very professional about it. That's what I like to say.
Thank you so much. If there is nothing from other people, I would like to say thank you to one and all. And just to add that on the 8th of August, Janaranjani has got a radio broadcast exclusively for the blood donations topic. And Keshu is one of the coordinators on that show. So please, I would request all of you to put in a separate audio message, maybe like less than 3 minutes, and then send through, because it's a radio show. So they're going to compile, other people's views as well. So this is this topic is very close to my heart, and I'm sure that I hope that you also enjoyed researching about this topic, and then I could see that from the way you have given the input to this show, it shows that you have taken it very seriously. So I can't thank you enough, but thank you is a small word, and I hope to get some more ideas from you about topics that you are fond of, and also let people know about this, and then talk to people, and also tell other people that if they want to participate, they can write to any of the Janaranjani members, or to me, or actually, we are all Janaranjani members. Okay. And as I always say, you are the torch bearers. So so that's why we have huge hopes on you to spread the good work around the places where you go. And thank you once again, and goodbye for now.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Namaste.
Thanks, everyone.